Okay, well this is going to be a build of the retractable landing gear version of the Meteor. Just to refresh your memories, that is the fixed gear Meteor, with the repair going on the nose wheel there, which flies, well in my view, brilliantly. Two 50mm EDFs, X-Fly EDFs, so they're reasonably efficient. But anyway, next step is to get away from that type of landing gear, which is fixed and doesn't look that bad, to this type of landing gear which retracts. Not sure until we test it how effective it's going to be. We've got the nose wheel landing gear there. Also on this table is pretty well every part as printed. There's a little bit of pre-assembly, but don't worry, you won't have to sit through it all. I'm going to fast forward through bits. There's a lot of pieces of this process that I think are obvious, but maybe they're not. And there's probably bits where I'm going along building this and you'll be going, no, don't do it that way, do it this way. But anyway, it's going to be what it is. Assembly of carbon fibre rods. They're not the correct lengths at this point, but they'll be useful in clearing out holes and things like that. I'll be showing you things like that part of the nacelle that needs to be trimmed out. That's just a support which I needed in there for the printing process. Yeah, minor bits that you might expect where you get lots of stringing going on, so you just got to trim them away. Some bits that just need to be cleaned up to make work. That looks terrible when it's printed, but once you clean it away it's not so bad, and you can fill it in a little bit. There'll be a few little repairs that if I got the printing settings a little bit better would make it easy. I have lowered some of the extrusion on some of the parts to reduce weight. In my particular case I get a little bit thin there, so I'm going to do a repair on that, but hopefully you'll have your settings set up and you won't need that. So I'm just going to be putting a little bit of fiberglass cloth on that. But anyway, that's not such a big deal. But yeah, the prototype, a little heavier than I like and a little bit heavier in the tail. So given that the CG is about here, there's an awful lot to reduce weight with. Anyway, yeah, as I said, I'll fast forward a few bits. Consider this another prototype for testing the retractable landing gear. There's no gear doors on it yet, but once I've convinced that I've got a reasonable product, I'll put gear doors on. But that'll come next. So here we go, lots of little details like the M3 brass inserts which you push in with the soldering iron, but making sure you align them with a bit of bolt. I'll go through some of that. Same sort of thing going on here with M2's inserts and the landing gear. Maybe a little bit why I chose PLA plus there. Basically it's rigid, PETG in this instance. Well, I can't make the stuff work, it just keeps layers falling apart, but maybe you can and it'll be better. I think ideally I'd like to make get it machined out of aluminium, but you know, I don't have that capability here. Hinges, yeah, just printed a whole bunch of hinges. Okay, I've changed the wing design to take a hinging system with carbon fibre rod. You can still fit the old ones which have got the CA hinge material. Don't particularly like that method, that seems to be working. But so if you've built the old wings or you prefer that method, it'll work just as fine on here. A lot of other parts are not so interchangeable, but yeah, they can work backwards, but you can't bring some of the older parts forwards into this because lots of little lead throughs for cabling for the servos, little cutaways. Make sure you got the part with the cutaway, and I had to do an update because I had the cutaway there for the flaps on just one side. So make sure you got the latest one, even on the older prototype, the fixed gear version. Yeah. Anyway, I'll show you all the details as I go along. Maybe some of it will be fast forwarding and you'll be able to pause the film, and if I've got something to explain, I'll slow it down. That'll all be in the edit process and show you that. I'm going to reuse the rear nacelles from here because I don't want to buy more engines, and this part fits fine. If everything's going well, I'll just repaint them from the yellow. Okay, enjoy the show.